Hello everyone and welcome to round 9 of the GT300 League here at vrroom.org. My name is Dave Higgins, as normal, taking through the race highlights. Now my apologies guys, I unfortunately did not record round 8 through the excitement of taking part. I forgot all about it, so many apologies. However, I can tell you that the race was won over a 9-lap period by Stuntman, so VR Stuntman taking the win there, the maximum 15 points. Scale following up in second took the 12 points, and N10, very good performance on the podium, planting it on there for the last of the podium positions, which is 10 points here at vrroom.org. Now, we're here at the Nürburgring F circuit, which is 3.2 miles of fantastic undulating German tarmac. The main straight is 0.39 miles long, so it's not the longest straights in the world, but it's good enough to get a little bit of slipstreaming going. Elevation difference is 186 feet over the entire track, so there's lots of ups and downs. Not as many, 17 corners on this track, but not as many undulations as its neighbouring Nürburgring Nordschleife, I believe it's called, or Nordschleife. That's the big 73 corner, 13 mile long, sort of 24-hour circuit, the one they used to use for the Grand Prix up until the early 80s, I believe. That one's got an elevation difference of nearly 1,000 feet. So we're running on the side of a hill here. Should be pretty good. Now, it's reverse grid order for round 9, as is normal at VR Room. We've got Badger on pole, followed by DM. So really poor performance from them in the last race, but hopefully they can recoup it here. So we've got Team Rosso Racing 1-2, followed by Rhesus, then Ginobili, Setwave in 5th, Lockie in 6th in the MR2, and then N10, Scale and Stuntman, the winner of the last race. So the fastest cars at the back, ladies and gentlemen. This should be quite good to watch and commentate on, so I'm going to do my best to give you the race highlights. Here we go with the start of the race. We're on board with Badger. The engine's roaring now as we're ready to get going at Nürburgring F circuit. It's the one they use for the Grand Prix circuit. Formula 1 was run here just the other week, I believe. So they're all ripping down to the first corner, as we can see. Still in the lead, we've got Badger followed by DM, but DM is on the inside. The two teammates, be sure not to tangle with each other. DM's got the inside line, so he's won that corner, and we've got Lockie tight up behind, doing a sterling job there, placing it up into third as we go around the first corner. Very good, tight stuff there from the two Rosso Racing cars. We'll go on board with DM, fantastic shot as they're coming down towards the sort of middle section, twisty bit, I suppose, near where the in the background you might see the famous roller coaster because of the theme park that's next door. So coming down to kind of the bottom half of the circuit now, where it's a tight left-right before they go down to the big hairpin at the bottom. Still leading nicely is VRDM from Badger, holding off Lockie, Rhesus, Setwave, Scale, Ginobili and Stuntman. Someone's dropped out there, I'm not sure who it is. I'll try to get back to you on that one. Looks like we might have had a bit of an issue with somebody's internet connection there. Going around the bottom hairpin on the back of DM's car there, we've got Badger under a hell of a lot of pressure from Lockie up the side. Rhesus and Setwave giving it a bit of a ding-dong, and we've got a slight off and a crash in the background for VR Stuntman. That's shocking, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of the last race is off. We're going to have to go on board with that. I'm going to have to go back and find out what happened there, whether he just run wide or not. I'm not sure. We'll go on his... oh dear, I think that says it all. I'll just have one more replay on his roof cam, and he's got himself wide onto the grass and then off. Now, has he managed to recover it without hitting the barriers? The answer is yes, he has. So bad news for Stuntman. He'll have to try his best to claw his way back into this race as soon as he can. So back on board with the leaders now. We'll just catch up, make it almost live because I did that replay, so we'll skip forward a little bit. Still on lap 1 of 9 here. DM still in the lead. Now Lockie has managed to nail Badger, who has been absolutely knocked back for 6. He must have got completely attacked down that back straight for some reason. He's way down now. He's dropped right down. He might have made a mistake, or he's just got knocked right down the field. So DM here with the extremely quick Lockie and Rhesus behind. Lockie in the MR2, of course, mid-engine rear-wheel drive, extremely fast car, followed by the Wedge Sport Toyota Celica of Rhesus. Setwave, I think, is still in. Oh, and look at the slipstream here. We're going to see Lockie planting one down the outside. DM is going defensive into the first corner on lap 2 of 9. There's a lot to be said for the tight line. There's a lot to be said for the cutback either, but Lockie has not managed to make that stick, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the uphill and then back down to the downhill tight left-hand section. Very easy for the car to drift wide on this particular corner that you're watching here. It's a frustrating little section, this, because it's slower than you think it is. You've got to go into it much slower and much more controlled. If you're over aggressive on that little section, you're going to drift wide, you're going to slide out, you're going to lose control of the car, and people will get past you. So you've got to have controlled aggression when you go into there. You've got to be very slow on entrance to get that a good exit speed. Lockie not letting up at all on DM. DM under a hell of a lot of pressure here, as we have that long drag straight, very bumpy section circuit here. You can see the cars bouncing up and down. Now Lockie has planned on the outside. DM going defensive again, trying to stop Lockie get past. It's worked. DM has the tight inside line. Lockie's not trying for the cutback. DM will be able to get the power down slightly early because of the better apex speed, to be honest there. And again, tight up behind. Really difficult stuff. Now Lockie, of course, will have a very poor view of all the apexes for these corners. Very difficult to drive that close to someone and to be able to see where you're going. But in the meantime, he's got it down the outside of DM, but it's a left-hand bend next to DM. He's going to have the better line for the corner. Lockie has been pushed wide, but Lockie has now got the inside line. We have a new leader, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Lockie up into first place. So superb stuff from Lockie. Let's just go on the back of his car, see if DM can capitalise. DM's right in his slipstream. DM will ping one out either to the left or the right and try and outbrake him here. He's on the inside of the circuit. Let's watch the braking manoeuvre into the corner, see if that works. DM's going down the gears on. DM retakes that position. Fantastic driving. Superb here. It's still side by side, but DM's got a poor exit, and Lockie has... Oh, DM took the corner, but then Lockie got it immediately back. Absolutely superb stuff here at vrroom.org at the Nürburgring F GP circuit. Big shout out, by the way, from myself to VR Stuntman and to C4, who doesn't actually race in this room. Thank you very much for the kind donation. In terms of the MR2 that you sent me, you may well find that Team Rosso Racing are running one of these little babies that's on your screen now for the next race. Not been set in stone, but the rumour in the paddock is that we're going to go for it, so we'll just have a little get back to you on that one, and it'll be exciting on Sunday to see what Team Rosso come up with. Let's just have a little clip to the back there. So Rhesus, Scale and Setwave. We've got Rhesus holding them off in the Toyota Celica, and Scale and Setwave are having a right old royal ding-dong in the background. Badger, Ginobili and Stuntman have dropped way back. But this is the next closest battle on track, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Very scary moment for Scale Breaker there. Massive curves, you don't really want to touch them around there. And again, that's another section of this track where you've got to be a little bit gentle, not too aggressive, otherwise you'll lose control of the car. We could just see in the background Badger poking his sneaky little nose round, and Ginobili up there as well. We'll clip back to those in a moment. Let's just go to the outside view. Now these are actually closer than we think to Lockie and DM. Now DM having another stab at Lockie. Let's just clip onto that here. DM so close to Lockie. And Lockie's gone wide. DM surely will go through and capitalise. Is that a nudge up the bum though from Rhesus? And that's meant Scale Breaker has got through into third position. Scale looking very aggressive. DM is unfortunately coming off worse for wear with that one, although he's still got the outside line in second. Although the other two cars have got the inside, has been forced wide by one, not two, not three, not four of the cars. DM, oh my dear, he's gone backwards. He's got to end up in fourth position by the looks of it. By the end of this straight, let's just go on and see the action from on board with DM's car. You can see there Rhesus and Scale have got through. DM, oh, and round the outside is Setwave. Will Setwave hold that? And he has. Oh, awful look there for DM. He'll have to try to claw his way back though. Awful. That's terrible news for DM. That won't do him any good whatsoever. Now let's just have a look and see what Ginobili. Now then, Ginobili has got sneaky little Badger behind him, trying to poke his nose in, followed by VR Stuntman, who's done a very good job here to claw his way back from last, may I remind you. After that spin on the first corner down at the bottom now, that was very unlucky, but he's not giving up, and that is the mark, ladies and gentlemen, of a true racing driver. You never give up with this game because you never know what's going to happen. I've said it time and time again, I've said it in my previous commentaries. You never know what's going to happen. It really ain't over till the fat lady sings. You've got to battle and battle and battle, and you never know. You might be last, but you might win the race. I mean, a prime example of that, a few seasons ago, I remember back in the Cappuccinos, and you'll be able to find this on my YouTube channel. Back in the Cappuccinos, there was a race at Suzuka. I can't remember what round it was. It's usually round 7, I think. JB, who, by the way, shout out, will be joining us again this Sunday. He's had a little delay with joining us, but he's back this Sunday, racing in his team, Team Rosso Racing, so we'll be 3 strong. But going back to the race I was talking about, and the fact that you can't give up, you know, JB got a little bit of a tap from JK, I believe it was, ended up flat last. 7 laps later, ladies and gentlemen, he won the race. He fought his way back through people having incidents, through people having pit stops, but also through good quick racing, and he won the race, so it's never over. Even though you're last, you can win, so even Badger could steal it here. You've got to keep fighting, and that's in a racing driver's blood, to be honest with you. You never give up. So we're on board with the leaders again, Lockie and Setwave and Scale from VRDM, who seemingly has dropped back a long, long way. Where was VRDM? It seems to have disappeared. Oh no, he's there. And how close is he to that lead battle? Oh, he's dropped back a lot. He must have made a big mistake somewhere. Has he got anyone behind him? And oh yes, he's in the clutches of Genobi now. Now this is precisely what I was talking about. These cars behind you here, Badger, Stuntman, Genobi and Rhesus. Well, actually Rhesus has had a big problem there. Why is Rhesus last? I want to find out, so I'm going to go back, because Rhesus wasn't last. Rhesus was in third, so let's just have a look what's happened to Rhesus. We'll go on board with his camera, if we can. Oh, there we go, that's what's happened to Rhesus. It's been pushed wide a little bit by the looks of it. This is on lap 4 of 9, so let's just watch and listen. Yeah, he's got a bit unsighted there behind Scalebreaker, and it's caused him to go wide. Yeah, this is... I was actually mentioning that before, saying when you're behind a car, when you're so tight up behind a car, you can't see the apexes. You can't really see where the corners are. You've almost got to guess. And that's very dangerous guesswork when you're doing sort of 100 miles an hour, you know. It's really bad news. That's a hard luck for Stuntman. That's how you've ended up so far back. So let me just skip forward a bit just to try to catch up now. So we're on lap 5 of 9. We have yellow flags. Now, I think the yellow flags have probably been called for that incident. In fact, they have. So we are under yellows. The lead car, Lockie, is now the pace setter. We will probably see... Yeah, oh, hang on. It's VR Stuntman in the pits, I believe. Let's have a look. So there must have been another incident that we missed there with VR Stuntman to cause that. I won't rewind on that one, guys, because I've already done 2 rewinds at the moment. But suffice to say, very bad news for VR Stuntman. There you see him coming out of the pits to rejoin at the back. There must have been a bit of an incident or a ding-dong there with Badger or Rhesus. It looks like he's the only one that got off injured, unfortunately. I'm just going to click through to each individual car, see if there's any damage. No, nobody's got damage, so we'll stay with Lockie and the leaders. Lockie is pace car. Now, this is something unique to VR Room, if you're watching this for the first time. All the room's fully marshalled, so we've got a good chance to have a good fair race. Now, they called it yellow, so you slow down to about half racing speed, 50-60 miles an hour. No overtaking, just like in the real world, so you can't do that. But what you do need to do is keep your tyres warm, keep your brake pressures up, and keep your concentration, and keep your car and keep your focus. So there's a lot more to a yellow flag than you think. It's not just a matter of slowing down. It can unsettle and unnerve a driver sometimes. So I think we're about to get the green flag release in a moment from the marshals. And indeed, we haven't yet. No, so we're going to get the green flag at the exit of the bottom corner, I believe. You can see Genobi in the background there, weaving like the Billy O. Let's just have a look on the back car. We can see the guys weaving, but now they're in the chain, so no weaving. You just get as close and as tight to the guy behind as you possibly can. Let's see it from the outside. You can't go until the guy in front does, so the cars are all being bunched up by Lockie. Lockie will release it at the bottom of this corner. Green flags, ladies and gentlemen. We go, go, go again at Nürburgring. Lap 5 of 9, I beg your pardon. So, flying up the back straight, and again, Stuntman off in the background, trying far too hard here. I think a little bit of frustration's kicking in with Stuntman. He really wants to win, and he's driving that car. So, over the crest of the hill, down towards the left-right before the downhill section. Lockie drifting wide, Setwave and Scale right on him now. It's pretty exciting stuff here. Looking at the battle from the back on Lockie's car. Quite a quiet engine on the MR2. And it's Setwave going for the inside. Will Setwave plant one? And he's going to make that stick. Lockie will have to yield that. Oh, and Scale's nicked through as well. So Scale doing a cheeky little Badger on Lockie. Very, very sneaky. I thought Badger was the only one that could do them, but apparently no. Apparently that's not the truth. Scale can do sneaky little Badgers as well. That's unsettled and unsighted Lockie, and he's in the clutches now of VRDM. We may see DM get through on Lockie in a moment. It's 3 or 4 abreast there as we go down the main straight towards the bottom hairpin corner. Come on, change that picture, change that picture. And it looks like Lockie's defended that quite well. In fact, Lockie's got back in the lead. The tremendous speed there of the MR2. This is why Team Rosso Racing wanted to get their hands on them. Thanks again for the guys who sent them through. We really appreciate it. And you know, if you're watching this for the first time, you're watching my YouTube channel for the first time, in all seriousness, the camaraderie in the paddock at VR Room is absolutely superb. All the guys are real good pals, you know, and we really get on. We have good racing respect, and we enjoy what we do, and that's the main thing. We're extremely competitive though, and get the racing hats on when we get on the track, but we're always really fair to each other, and that's what it's all about. It's all about having some really good fun and some serious racing online motorsport. Said it before, vrroom.org, the home of online motorsport. Please visit us, free to do so, and you can be part of this wonderful action that you're seeing. So let's just clip to the backpack. We're on the back of DM's car now. Genovi, and Stuntman has got himself up to 6. Now again, this is what I was mentioning, he's fighting back as we come up the steep elevation towards the right-left flick. You can take this at full pelt. Oh, a bit of an off there, and Sparks from DM. Genovi nearly hit the back of him. That's really going to bunch the cars up. Let's have a look from the outside shot there. It looks like Stuntman has got through, and Stuntman's about to nail DM, so Stuntman is really coming back through the field here. Absolutely superb job here. Let's just go on the back of Stuntman's car. Now, will he nail DM? He's got a better drag and he's got the slipstream. You can see him getting sucked in to the hole in the air that's being created by DM's car. There's nothing. Oh my goodness me, that was brave stuff from Stuntman. DM gave him the biggest squeeze in the world. But I don't think DM expected him coming through, because there was only just enough room there, but he did it, and DM, just what I was talking about, gave him that respect and said, you know what, that was brave stuff, I'll give you that, because there's nothing stopping there DM from just continuing to take his line in the corner there, but instead, you know, he's realised what's happening, he's realising Stuntman's committed to it, and he's thought, you know, fair play, I'll give you just enough room, and that's exactly what DM did, and both of the players came unscathed. Now, that won't bother DM. DM will be trying to get back in this as soon as possible. From a really good start, he's now dropped to 5th, so it's not the best of races, but we do know that the Autovax Articar 08 that DM's driving is not quite on song here as it was at Suzuka. It's not quite strong enough car around here. So nonetheless, he's doing a good job to plant it where it is. And actually, Badger's not far behind either. So shout out for Badger. So we're on lap 7 of 9 now. We've got 2 laps to go. Oh my word, this is tight at the front, ladies and gentlemen. You can see for yourselves. You don't really need me to commentate on this one, to be honest with you. It's speaking for itself in terms of the quality of the racing that we're witnessing here this evening. This race was run last Sunday, of course. Races at VR Room on the Masters League. On the Trophy League are run between 8 and 10. We have qualifying sessions beforehand and fully marshalled rooms. So the next races are going to be I'm not sure 100% on the circuits actually. I think it's Montegi, Nürburgring D, and I can't remember the other one, but I'll come back to you on that one. So let's not worry about it for a minute. I'll come back to that in a second. What I was going to do is give a shout out to VR Stuntman. If you're interested, guys and girls, and you haven't seen it, get onto Stuntman's channel. You can also get it on the vrroom.org. We've got some commentary from the Masters League on the Mondays, which VR takes place, and he's done a really nice video there, and some really good in-depth commentary about the racing. So be sure to tune into that and watch that. So well, not only have we got this league running now, it appears that we've got the Masters League running as well. So I hope VR can set aside maybe a little bit more time and maybe do a few more there, and maybe one day we'll get in the commentary box together, who knows, that'd be quite good fun. So back to the action now. We've got Lockie, Setwave, Scale 1, 2 and 3. I want to check on those live timings, ladies and gents, because I've not done that yet, so I'll pull that back. The fastest car on track, you work it as I work it, is a 1:05.938. Good old Stuntman. Just as I was mentioning about him, he is fast, and he's very fast here. He's clawing back through the field, so well played there. Back to the live action. So fastest lap to Stuntman, giving it a good comeback now. In 5th, it's ultra close. Lockie does not want to give this one up at all. And who could blame him, to be honest with you? Will he beat Scale and Setwave in those mid-engine rear-wheel drive Lexuses? So it appears mid-engine rear-wheel drive is the way to go around here, to be honest with you. It's some fantastic racing we see. And there's the aforementioned roller coaster that we saw in the background. Of course, this runs on the side of the 73 corner big 13-mile circuit. They do interlink as well, which I only found out recently. They do interlink so that you can join these two circuits up and race around the big one and the little one. They use that for the 24-hour racing here, of course. But for these kind of races... Oh, Scale doing a little bit of that old flashing there. Is he doing it? Let's have a look. Yeah, characteristic flashes from the headlights there from Mr. Breaker. The championship leader, remember, of course, in this GT300 Trophy League. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle, though, from him. The field is spread out that slight bit as we come up the long drag to the left, right, should be taken at full blast if you can. Lockie's going to drift slightly wide there, but he's managed to make it stick, luckily for him. Let's just go down and see what's happening towards the back of the pack. Is Ginobili able to get on now? Ginobili's defending from... he's dropped back from DM, but he's defending from these two guys here, which is Team Rosso Racing Badger, who's very wide there, may I add. And then Rhesus in the background. None of them really close enough to have established. You can see there. He's not tight behind, but he is behind. I'll just try to give you a bit more camera angle so we can see him. You might see him fly past now in a minute. Just going up the hill, there he is, and you see the brake lights come on as they enter the left-right chicane at the top. Very tight, that, very frustrating. Big curbs there, and just as I said it, Ginobili flew over it. You've got to be very careful because you can spin the car there very easily. So we're on the last lap here, ladies and gents. Stick with me for another 2 minutes, hopefully. I've got plenty of memory on the old phone. I should be able to stick for 2 minutes more. And then we've got nearly the entire race in. So we're on board with Scalebreaker, who has got the lead. Now, where's Lockie gone? Oh my word, what happened to Lockie? No, got to see that. Sorry guys, got to see that. He was winning the race and I completely missed it. And then I shall skip the last lap. So Lockie, what happened, mate? You were in first. Let's have a look here. Come on. Don't let the incident happen before the screen comes back on. So he's under a lot of pressure here from... we've gone back. We're still on lap 8. This is the bit where I clipped to the back of the field. I should have not have done that. He's being under a lot of pressure from Scale. Scale rubbing him. Trying desperately to get back, to get past. Now, did he run wide, I wonder? Let's have a look. This is the long drag down towards the chicane. Scalebreaker is slipstreaming him very tight. He'll be rubbing him as he goes around here. That could unsettle the back of the MR2 a little bit. Do we see an outbreak? Let's have a look. We know Lockie dropped back. What happened? Did he clip those curbs I was mentioning? It is a big curb clip, and yes, it sent him wide onto the grass, and he's spun, and he hasn't got collected. He's only just got missed by the first 3 or 4 players there. DM manages to go through. Terrible look for Lockie. Oh, mate, that's absolutely awful. He will be gutted. He tries very hard, and when he's had such a good race, he gets very frustrated with himself, quite rightly so. He'll be absolutely gutted with that one. Hard luck. But, you know, not over till the fat lady sings. Maybe he's got time to claw it back. I don't know. Let's just have a look. So, which part of the circuit on now? We're on going down towards the bottom bit of the circuit, very bumpy bit of time, like I said there. So we're at the hairpin at the bottom. As we go up, we're on Scale's car. How close is Setwave? Let's have a look. Setwave and Stuntman. Exactly what I said would happen. It has happened. So well played to Mr. Stuntman. Flat last. He's now going to podium this race with the possibility of getting second. This is exciting stuff, guys. Let's see if he can nail Setwave. He's obviously got his composure back together. We're going to go on board with Stuntman from the outside shot. This is well worth watching in the Wedge Sports Celica versus the 2 Lexus cars that have been strong all season. It doesn't unfortunately look like he's gone. Oh no, he has! Look at that! There's been a mistake! Whoa, sorry, I'm getting far too excited there. Well played, Stuntman through into second. Never stop fighting, ever. Let that be a lesson to every single racing driver. Never stop fighting. I doubt he's going to nab